Rohit Sharma, a World Cup winning captain who was having the time of his life with both his batting and his captaincy till the Kanpur test in September. A man who was showered with love for his intent and aggressive approach, and a man who had virtually booked India's seat in the World Test Championship final to be played in 2025. What was to be followed after that is nothing short of a debacle. A home test series whitewash defeat against New Zealand, a disastrous display that the Indian fans would have never imagined. A home test series loss after 12 years, after 18 series that were hosted by India. This series was meant to breach the fortress. A sense of panic and discomfort in the race for the WTC final, as suddenly India now had to win the Border Gavaskar trophy in order to reach the WTC final. Now suddenly the captain, who was praised for his intent, aggression, selflessness, was suddenly deemed as clueless, unbothered, casual, complacent, insolent, indolent, and such other media-friendly insults that were thrown at the captain, and he was targeted from all ends of the internet. But regardless of all of this, India managed to dominate Australia in the first test with an itinerary that was designed for Australia to be 3-0 up, and it was designed for Australia to be 3-0 up by the time India would get to the MCG with the absence of Rohit Sharma. But now the question that arises is whether Rohit Sharma's presence sabotaged India's chances at the Border Gavaskar trophy, and now there have been various discussions about this topic, both positive, negative, along with a section that calls themselves neutral. But there is no right or wrong here, because you can never tell whether Rohit's presence contributed to the defeat or were there other things that would hinder India's focus at the Border Gavaskar trophy. Now let's look at the straight facts. Rohit Sharma had a terrible outing with the bat at the BGT with only 31 runs under his belt at an average of 6.2. Now that's an average that is even worse than Jasprit Bumrah. Rohit Sharma realized his bat was not making the sound that he wanted to, and he decided to stand down as captain. But the result did not seem to alter, and there is a big reason, because Jasprit Bumrah had a back injury right in the middle of the match and he could not target the spiciest wicket. But hold on, I want you to answer one big question. Do you think the series would have drifted India's way in the absence of Rohit Sharma? Because everybody on the internet, everybody who is watching cricket and everybody who is watching whatever that unfolded was stating that Rohit Sharma brought the losing momentum of the New Zealand series with him to Australia, that disrupted the balance of the side and brought them on the brink of losing every time, and that's what happened. But people are missing one huge point, that before the New Zealand series, Rohit Sharma was in one of his best phases. And if one series can drift the scenario in such a manner that people somehow forget that Rohit Sharma is India's highest WTC scorer. He has scored over 2,700 runs, and that's a fact that a lot of people seem to forget. And now suddenly a captain who has emerged victorious on 96 occasions across formats out of 132 matches is suddenly being labelled as clueless. Yes, the fortress has been breached. Yes, the BGT has not been retained in 7 years. Yes, the streaks of years are breaking, but haven't we as fans learned how to believe in the process? Before the New Zealand series, we saw Rohit Sharma shatter records as captain, as player, and he was seen as the biggest cricketer in India at that moment. And suddenly, that lean patch shows up, and the biggest turnarounds of agenda show up, and people start to label Rohit Sharma's captaincy as clueless. But these are the records of Rohit Sharma for the year of 2024. Now you can see that he amounts to 1155 runs across all formats, and if you are a terrible batsman, you don't have that sort of runs. But again, all of this boils down to the captaincy. Should a losing captain with a capable replacement as a vice captain in the form of Jasprit Bumrah be allowed to captain such an important test tour that is going to shape India's WTC campaign? Should a losing captain captain such an important event? Now, if it was any other captain, I'd think twice. But if it's Rohit Sharma, I'd say give him the baton of the captaincy and carry on just like any other tour. Because this man is not any other random captain. He is a man who broke the curse of India's ICC trophy drought. And if his captaincy was average, his team wouldn't have been on the victorious side 12 times in red ball cricket. He has earned that spot in the side, and if he realizes that his bat hasn't been making the sound that he and all of India craves, then he has the option to rest. Not to retire, not to retire without fighting for a spot.